Welcome back, family, to another wonderful, entertaining, edutating edition of We All Be Radio. That's news free Dixie for the 21st century. I'm your host, Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2, the artist. This is actually Happy New Year 2025. This is actually the first all the way live show of the new year. Brother Ron is coming back into the atmosphere. Have no fear. Brother Ron is here with the good news that we all be, because we all be in it to win it. And I'm glad to be back. Took a hiatus, but there's a lot to talk about. There is a lot to get into. And we got a very special guest to kick off the year with you. So tune in, or rather tune out the tune in to get in where you fit in. So we're going to take a ride. I just want to talk about this. This is a very wonderful thing. I made it one of my, I don't call them resolutions, but I would like to follow through on reading more books this year. Books that really talk to me, that speak to me, that feed my soul, that let me know that there is so much more to know and that I need to encourage myself to grow. So I hope it's coming loud and clear. But I want to talk about this book. It's called ShirtMane. The book is called ShirtMane. It's available in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook on Amazon Prime. Get it down. ShirtMane, it's a short read, but it's a very insightful and joyous read. I think it celebrates Black boy joy. And this is definitely epitome of that. And it's very inspiring. So we're going to talk to the author about this book that he wrote and gave us and blessed us with. And I want to keep on being a blessing to you all. I hope that whatever I do will be doing more good than harm. And I believe by giving back and helping other people amplify their messages on this platform is a good way to go, you know? So with that said, we're going to bring on our esteemed guest. I'm trying to make sure I got everything lined up. Uh-huh. Yep. So we're going to bring on our special guest. I think he's ready for prime time because we all the way live. This brother here, I actually encountered this good brother, on Thaddeus Matthews show. Shout out to Thaddeus Matthews, formerly known as the Cousin Pastor. He's doing recovery rehab. Went through some health challenges last year. I also encountered my own health challenges last year. But remember this phrase: a setback is a setup for a comeback. A setback is a come up for a setback. And who is ShirtMane, man? Well, according to this book, the ShirtMane is a storyteller from Memphis that owns a t-shirt printing company. He wears his moniker with pride while sharing the challenges and triumphs of developing into an entrepreneur while surviving in the hood. The next ShirtMane episode will walk you through life-altering adventures while experiencing the grind of him working a full-time job while trying to maintain his street cred and come up in the rap game. To be continued. I can most definitely see this being a Netflix series on Hulu or Tubi or whatever you stream your entertainment. And without further ado, the real ShirtMane, D to G, dreams to go. That's a movement. It's not just a business. It's not just a brand. It's a movement. And I want to bring on very talented, very insightful, very inspiring brother, the one and only brother John Odum. Brother John Odum, welcome to You All Be. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, brother Ron? How you doing, man?
All right, I'm good. And you got your partner in not in crime but in good business. You want to present present yourself to the audience as well?
Alwyn Pierce.
I could hear
AP
you.
for
Say that again.
Odwin Pearson. AP for short.
Okay, brother AP and brother
AP.
John, welcome to the show. And we talked about a little bit about your book, The ShirtMane. Like I said, I reached out to you several years back because I saw your ad on the Thaddeus Matthews, the AKA the Cussing Pastor Show, and you do definitely good work. You do definitely good work, and every time I get my shirt, it's always inspiring to come across your presence. You have a great demeanor, positive attitude, a great aura about you, and you will share with me from time to time some of your life story. And I'm thankful I was able to read this book as my homework assignment. It was I went through it pretty fast. I thoroughly enjoyed this. So tell us about your journey into creating the shirt man.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. First of all, yeah, this here with my brother, man, Alwyn Pearson, man. That's my number one guy right there, man. Been supporting me along the way,
Excellent.
and he's been a real pivotal part and role in me transitioning into the shirt lane from I guess a full time employee on the job from
Mm,
coming up in the neighborhood and things in that manner. So shirt lane really is just my story and hopefully it'll inspire other people just to aim for something other than just the hood standard. I want to be a legit entrepreneur businessman. And man, seeing guys like him and one of my other partners, my cousin, Michael Mallory, he actually has a clothing line, and he's a barber. These
mm-hmm.
guys been entrepreneurs, man, as long as I can remember. So that was inspiring, man, for me to actually try to get out of the workforce and go on and start my own thing, man. And like I say, between him and Alwyn, and he got his own brand, Odd Tops. Man, they just kind of put me in the middle, man. I just pulled from their experiences and their expertise, man, and try to do it on my own, and it's blowing up. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Oh, that's excellent, man. Like I said, almost when you said that, I was thinking about Mike Jones from 2005. Like, he tell everybody his phone number, he about to blow up, he's blowing up. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot.
Right.
They all up
Yeah.
on me.
Yep. I
So,
feel it.
so how much? Okay, so I read the shirt, man. I'm curious, how much is this about you? What's the percentage wise? This is based on your life story.
98.5.
Okay, okay. That's a lot. You are the father of this book. No,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
You are
not
the father.
okay.
DNA results came back. So like I know I mean that's very incredible, man. So where did you get your like resilience and determination and resolve?
Uh, I gotta say my pops, man. That's my number one inspiration. Man, the motivation, man. That guy, man, he's poured into me, into the family. I mean, over the years, just going through all these, different trials and tribulations, he's been the only male figure that's been consistently
Mm,
there the whole time. And not just for me, but for my family, my mom, the entire family. He's just that go-to guy. You
right.
know, I mean, I seen him work, man. Getting up 3, 4 in the morning, making it happen. He's always been a provider for us. And I just want to give him his flowers, man. He's the guy that really led by example. And he's still doing it. He's a living legend. He ain't gone nowhere, so he's still
That's good.
alive and kicking. You feel what I'm saying?
That's real cool, smooth dude, man.
Yeah, stand up guy, man.
Real
So
smooth dude.
yeah, so salute to Pops, man. Pops put the work in, man, and he relentless, man, persistent, and he just showed me, man. You put your mind to anything, no matter what it is, you can accomplish those goals, and I really appreciate him. I love him for that, man. So I know it ain't Father's Day, but happy Father's Day, Pops. We love you.
Oh, thank you. That's excellent. I mean, to hear the testimonies for both you and your business partner, brother AP. Black fathers matters. Black dads matter, right? And I think about all the successful people that come to mind. Like I think about the Tiger Woods and the Williams sisters, and there's a lot of them. Even Beyonce, Matthew Knowles. I mean, if or Joe Jackson or the Jackson family. If it wasn't for the black fathers, a lot of these people would not be the successes they are today. And but at the same time, it seems like the media is gung ho on really crucifying not just black fathers but black men in general. So what do y'all say to that? I mean, you got this book out, ShirtMane, and you got different types of brothers and black men portrayed in the book. I think it's interesting because I always tell people that role models could be the people that do the right thing as well as the wrong things. So I like to talk to you about that because you got different types of black men in the book that come along to help you, but you are definitely you exercise free will. The character Jay Boodini,
Right.
he exercises free will, but he's also influenced by other things around him. So can you just get into like the? I guess I want to talk about how would you describe the character of Jay of Boudini?
So Jay man was he was a good kid, you know, from the beginning, man. He grew up around a lot of love. He had a big family, but he was the first of grandkids of both sides of his family. So
Mm-hmm.
he was surrounded by a host of uncles and aunties, and so it's just like they just took him in and they just loved on him. You know what I'm saying? Almost
Right.
shielded him. And you know, he grew up in a nice, you know, a nice, like I said, loving home. But the environment outside of the home wasn't always the most pleasant environment. If that makes sense. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? There's a lot of struggles. When you go outside the door, it didn't look the same as it did inside of the house. You know, so you've seen a lot of drugs and streets and criminal activities and stuff like that. Dysfunction, you know what I'm saying? And so you start, as you're growing up, you start realizing, man, that everybody's household ain't built or wired the way that yours is. And you
Right.
run into those offsprings from those households. And you know, some of them are they get hardcore, man. They bullies, they aggravate, they frustrate, they dealing with issues that maybe adults should be dealing with. And as a child, you face these people, man, on an everyday basis. So you know, when you trying to be a kid in the playground and just have fun, you might run into somebody, man, that ain't ate in 2 or 3 days, and you know, come off as a bully. If he don't know, you know that you know, you got a good life. Only thing he knows is, it's he looking for his next meal or he want to take out his frustration on somebody. So being a little Jay man, Jay faced all those type of individuals, and he learned, man, that just because he's a nice guy, he had to defend himself to survive in these environments. And as time went on, it just showed, man, that he wasn't hardcore like that, but facing those situations so much, it actually started to mold him into becoming that person that could deal with those situations because he had to survive in that environment. So that's kind of the direction that it went in, and then it goes through the fact that he gets older, and as you get older, it starts getting a little more serious in the teenage phase where now these threats they ain't kids anymore. They're getting a little older, they're getting more serious. The girls will start getting involved and stuff like that. And man, he still had to figure out how to balance a good moral upbringing with the neighborhood, the things that came along with being in the neighborhood. Whether it was drugs, whether it was just bad dudes or whatever the case may be, he had to figure out how to survive. But the thing is, he had, like I said, a good upbringing, and he had a strong father figure that worked. So his dad wasn't involved in the drugs and the drinking and the alcohol and gambling and stuff like that. So he always had that to look back on. Even though the influences that he actually started becoming a part of, they took him down the wrong path and he kind of grew into that path. If that makes sense, you know. So once he grew up to that path and actually started becoming of that path, then it made it where it kind of turned the table on. Where he started looking like a villain instead of the good kid that was brought up to do right. You know. Yep.
So I mean that's good to listen to. Like I want to know because I know this is value one, the volume one of I guess a series of books, and like you tell stories like little stories that makes up the life story of brother Jay Boudini.
right.
But will you tell some of his story as well in the upcoming books that you have coming out with this
Almost
series?
definitely. Like I say, I actually changed a lot of the names and the characters and stuff like that, because I don't want to, incriminate myself or anybody else. But man,
Hmm.
yeah, Dad played a role throughout my whole life, so he'll be cameoing a lot throughout the book. I mean, just certain situations where if he wasn't around, um, it would probably be a different turnout. You might not be looking at ShirtMane, a professional, legitimate businessman. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the order, Mr. Jet.
Yeah,
Uh,
she good people, man. She real Memphis folk, man.
yeah,
And happy belated birthday, sister Yvette. We
right.
love
Happy
you
birthday.
madly.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
So yeah,
excellent.
man, Possible definitely be mentioned a lot through books, man. Then I had some uncles, man. They were stand up guys. Um, man, I got a host of aunties. So a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about in these books is based off of my family. Because I'm really family oriented. So yeah, you're
Hmm.
gonna get a lot of stories from a lot of different people that kind of was along the way when I was just growing up and coming to this point. You
When I was reading some of your book, it reminded me of Snoop Dogg wrote a autobiography some years ago when he was no, I think he probably needed to do a second volume of his life story, but he talked about growing up. He came from a family, his mom was very heavy in the church, he was involved in the church choir, but he talked about the effect of seeing the movie Scarface in the movie theaters and how to him it made it look like, for white people it was like escapism in a fantasy world, but for him it was more like an option, like it
know?
was an actual viable option, which is crazy to think about the impact and influence of these so-called movies. And even if you think about back in the 70s, when Superfly came out, and
Mhm.
folks started trying to emulate Superfly and the Mac and things of that nature. And I want to know, how much did movies and music play a part in you wanting, or I guess Jay wanting to pursue a certain type of fast lifestyle? Was there any impact on Jay with the music or with the movies? Because I know it wasn't really touched upon. Now you touch upon the fact that he was influenced to wear shades by Cool Mo D, which is interesting. But how much of an impact did music or movies have on his character in terms of pursuing certain options in life?
It was a really huge impact on Lil Jay's life. Um, because man, growing up in a household or an environment like I say that was full of love and so much, care, so many caring people. That was kind of like my sneak peek into the dark side. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So if I can get in my room and put these headphones on and they'll just take me to the hood and show me about, this person, he was in a drug deal, this person was in a shootout, this lady, she was selling her body, all this stuff that we're not talking about in my household. I can hear it and I can imagine it. You got the boys in the hood, you got Luke Skywalker, they taking me to the strip clubs and all this stuff that I'm doing. I'm in my back room with headphones on because my mom
Hmm.
not letting me do this. So if I got these images in my head and I'm kind of playing them out, when I finally get out, I kind of got a head start on what I'm expecting. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of play this role based off of what I've listened to, listened to through the music or the videos or the movies or whatever. So it was
Hmm.
really, it played a huge part in me coming, growing up in Lil J, getting involved in a lot of things because, like I say, you already got an idea of what to expect versus just not knowing anything about, the street life. So if I'm listening to NWA, I got a head start on kids that don't listen to NWA. If that makes sense. You got to take on it, AP.
Yeah, 'cause I think it's interesting to think about because when I was younger, I love rap music. I used to listen to a lot of gangster rap, NWA and stuff like that. But I remember when the movies Colors came out. I didn't know about no Bloods and Crips until that movie came out. And
Right.
this was before Boys in the Hood and all that stuff. And then, Ice-T had the song Colors, 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 Colors. Now, all of a sudden, HBO had back in the 90s banging in Little Rock. I said, they got Bloods and Crips in Little Rock? Is
Right.
that a LA, Cali? Why we got Bloods and Crips in Little Rock? You know what I'm saying? But I blame really the media for the East Coast, West Coast rap war because we didn't have social media back then.
Right.
But the newspapers and the news media was stirring up this stuff, which really was like probably wasn't. There's a beef between two people or two entities, rather than a bi-coastal beef. But my thing is, what is dangerous to me is the fact that you have these unchecked influences over our people, and then, like you said, you was in your or Jay was in his back room, or whoever was in the back room listening with the headphones on. The parents were not aware of what you was consuming in
Right.
terms of the music and stuff like that. And the fact that we will let our children be raised by these influences unchecked. Because I ain't gonna never forget, like years ago, I read, I think it was in the Source magazine, how Dr. Dre and Eminem did not let their children listen to their music while they was growing up.
Yeah.
Or that you read about these social media gurus and CEOs, they will send their kids to schools with no technology in it. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that founded all these social media sites, they knew the power it had to manipulate the minds of the masses, but they
Right.
protected their children. It's like young Jeezy talk about graduating from the trap house, but his kid graduated from private school.
Right. Yeah.
So you encouraging, even I remember Nelly talking about how he ate to live, he eat to live, right? Years ago. But he didn't rap about his healthy food lifestyle years
Right.
ago. But
Right.
but people pushing gin and juice and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, like, I remember that song from back in the day, self-destruction. We heading for self-destruction.
Yeah.
And this is what's going on. But I feel like after reading your book, Shirt Man, that this should be in school curriculums, or it should be accessible to little black boys. Like you should have this book in schools to help them out. Little black boys especially. 'Cause I feel like a lot of our black boys are still being left behind and forgotten about.
Right. That's it. It made me
Yeah.
feel good because I was wondering always if it was going to be more of a entertainment or people were actually be able to pick up lessons from it because I don't want to water it down at all. I want them to
Hmm.
get the full experience so that they will have the ability to make a choice with the options that presented in front of them, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I
I,
mean, I'm glad you see in that light, man, that it can actually go into schools and be used as a learning tool. You know, 'cause
Also, you being a role model yourself, I mean, what you're doing now is incredible, being of great service to the community. I know that you have a son yourself, and I know your father has a very profound impact on your life. And I'm sure that the lessons you learned from your father, you are imparting to your son as well, and to your other seeds you may have. But I think people like you are needed to speak out and speak up and to be empowered, so you can empower, inspire other people, because you are definitely a true entrepreneur. Can you talk a little bit about your business interests along with your partner, brother AP?
yeah, man. Man, this is like a dream. That's why it's called Dreams to Gold. Going through all those situations, uh, I just wanted to be a businessman. You know,
Hmm.
I remember, man, Saturday morning, my mom would send me to the laundromat, and the laundromat was like two houses down from where I stayed in Cascadia. And the guy that actually ran the laundromat, I remember his name was Matt, and he was an older black guy, man. And man, every morning I go there, he had the video games in there, and he had like 5 or 6 different arcade games. And my mom would give me like $3 worth of quarters to dry all the clothes, man. And, I would spend $2 on the clothes, and that other 4 quarters, man. I would make it last while I was in there playing those video games. And I just thought it was so cool because the owner, was a black guy. And he just seeing him in there and like, man, this guy really he got a business. So it kind of inspired me. And then, like I say, seeing my props, he had always had his own skill set. He's a master mechanic, and at that time he would always be working on cars, fixing cars for people and stuff like that. But he also sold cars. So I seen him get it off his skill set. Basically he would fix the car up and sell it. I'm like, wow. So I always had that entrepreneurial spirit in me. And man, to actually get old enough and then get blessed with a partner like AP that basically gave me the opportunity to really step out and bring my dream to life, man. That was just a blessing. Man, I'm just trying to show other people um, through my experiences that it's possible. Not saying that it's easy. You have your anxiety and your stress and you deal with situations, but you're free. Your mind is free. You know what I'm saying? And I don't knock anybody for going to work every day. Sometimes I be like, man, if I could just go to work and make some money pumping into my business. I had those thoughts too, but the flip side, the blessing is I'm so busy, I don't even have time to try to go to work. So that's a good thing, a good sign too. But you run into those situations where you just feel like if you just had a nifty, a certain amount of money, you can dump into it and escalate your business real quick. Those are the type of things that you run into. But overall, man, being an entrepreneur and actually being free, man, it allows me to think, to be creative. You know, this was just a shirt company. That's all I wanted to do was print shirts. The book came along because I'm free in my mind. I got enough time to think of other ideas and be creative. So it kind of, one hand wash the other. So it just really helped me out a lot, man. I just think my story uh, will kind of inspire other people. That it's not where you started, it's how you end it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you definitely got the right attitude for the job. And when you're doing something you love, it's not work, it's not labor, it's passion. It's something it gets you excited to get up in the morning or whenever you get up. And it's not work, but it is work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because, but the thing about it is, what I don't understand, people will give the best of themselves to other people's dreams.
Yep.
And you'd be so tired, like you come home for 40-hour work week. I'm too tired to do anything for myself. I don't believe a lot of us make ourselves a priority. And like I tell people all the time, if you're not a priority for yourself, then nobody look at you as a priority. If you don't
Yep.
make what you want to do in life a priority, if you don't take enough self-love for you, if you don't tell yourself I love you while you're looking at yourself in that mirror, you may not hear that for the whole week or for a whole day. But I'm saying, like, what you're doing is you're giving the best of you. Cause I know I talked to you a couple years ago. You talk about how you jumped, all in into this situation, and really it was an unknown situation because you were used to having jobs, being a supervisor, getting a steady paycheck, things of that nature. But there you are, you're taking a chance on yourself by believing in your dreams, even though you have other people dependent on you. So can you talk about the process of wanting to jump in to something that may not be a sure thing? Well, you got people depending on you to feed and clothe and shelter them.
Man, that's the biggest anxiety. That's where, like you say, you gotta have the right circle around you. And I always give my partner his props because he was there to really help me with that transition. Uh, to actually give me the confidence to just say, hey man, slow today, but just come back tomorrow. Come back the next day. Something gonna happen. So if you got a cool people around you, man, that's cheering for you, then it make the journey a little bit easier. But it also you gotta have a relationship with your family and the people that you that's depending on you. They gotta understand that this is not an easy journey, and you gotta have they buy in just as well. They gotta be right there with you, cheering for you. They gotta understand that it's gonna be some long nights. You're gonna be missing the action a lot. So it's not just all about you. You still gotta, it's a team effort. And some people, might not have that type of support, but I had a really good support system with my wife and my kids, my whole family. They just jumped in right behind me, man, because I think I did enough growing up to prove to them that if I ended up being successful, that I was going to take care of everybody that was around me and then play a part into, my success. So yeah, it's a balancing act, man. It's really something that has to be thought about, and you really have to have that circle that's tight, you know. like you were saying, man, you gotta love yourself. And if you don't plan your day and actually focus on what you need to be doing, they said you don't plan your day will plan you. So I make sure that I don't have any gaps in my day. Everything is productive. From the time I get up in the morning to the time I lay down, everything is strategically this hour, next hour. I can pretty much tell you my whole day every day. That way I don't have room for the mistakes or for somebody to ease in and have me doing something that, that's off my path.
You know, especially when you a black male, as I say, because like man, trying to be efficient, run your life efficient is hard, man. It's really hard. Because one thing I always talk to him about, going back to the strong black father here, like man, you can look back to um, basketball games. You say a Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, and you can pull and see how many points he may have had on a certain day, and this and that. But one thing about it, when you are a black male and a strong father, man, there's really no stats that's that's kept for when you was there for your family, when you saved somebody, when father said, "Man, get in the car, Junior," or I'll go in, where he may have seen danger, and he told you that he saved you from the danger or whatever. And if it didn't happen, there was no stat for that, for the family or everybody else to see exactly what it was he was talking about to try to prevent, and also it's man, it's a journey, but you have to stay the course, and like you said, you gotta have people around you that like conversations like this. You go 250, 300 people, and it's probably getting wider and wider before you can have a conversation of just being understood about things of this nature that we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all brothers said all that. Go ahead, sir.
Oh no, I'm
No,
good.
you do it.
Oh yeah, well I was thinking about, man, you talking about, you named some all time greats and stuff in the basketball field, but I was wondering how were y'all able to endure the 2020 thing? Because a lot of legacy corporations went out of business and after 2020 happened. A lot of things ain't existed no more. It's a whole new world now after 2020. And you started this back in 2018 on Dr. King's birthday, November 15th of 2018, I believe. And so I was wondering how y'all was able to ride this thing out with the 2020 thing, dealing with y'all business that rely on people, customer service, meeting people in person, and things of that nature.
Man, one thing about me is I'm always up for a challenge. So
Mm-hmm.
even though this is a worldwide crisis, uh, when people tell me I can't do something, that's like the push that I need to try to figure out how to do it. So when they shut all the businesses down, we wanted to be the business that didn't get shut down. When they started saying, okay, they got to do it with essential business, we figured out how to make our business one one of the essential businesses. So whatever the essential business is doing to maintain and stay, alive during the pandemic, we adopted that formula. And so we took on the Amazon, the curbside stuff that you've seen at Walmart, and people delivering groceries and all that. We just adopted that situation and started doing it before it was a big deal. So I was already I did business from Facebook anyway, so it was already built from social media. So since everybody was at home basically on social media, it gave me a platform to actually say, hey, I know y'all in the house. I know y'all birthday coming up. Y'all need some birthday T-shirts. Hey, I'm over here. I, you don't have to touch me. I just pull up and drop it off in your mailbox. Send me the money. So it started working, and before you know it, man, it was just part of the pandemic. It was our way of contributing to people being safe at home without them actually having to come out to the shop.
Yeah,
Exactly. We created a whole game show.
Oh, game show.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, we did. I mean, it's called Lock In Friday. So it was like, man, you can just watch us on live at 7 o'clock. Hey, we going on live 7 o'clock Friday night. So when you tune in, hey, we got DJ Chucky. That's his alias. And we'll ask questions like, hey, what's the guy from Memphis, man? His first name was A.L. His last name was the color. So now you got everybody texting in green, green, green. Well, the last person that I see within the 60-second time frame, I got a little stopwatch, they be the winner. And they will end up winning a free t-shirt. So you can imagine how they grew on Friday nights. It was like, I'm going to win a prize in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So
everybody's at home anyway.
Everybody's at home.
So.
We giving them a full concert. I mean, we playing all the good music because he would be helping out the audience. If I say something about Al Green, then in the background you hear Al Green music playing. Kind of give you a hint on what the answer the question. So we made fun out of everything, man. Right. We made the best out of it, and it kind of, like you say, it just grew on its own. We just adjusted to it, basically.
That speaks to something, to the resilience of the human spirit, but to also the genius of Black creativity. Like where other people see lack, we see opportunity. Like we create things, like we took the worst food that master threw away and made soul food. They cut out music education in the schools. We created rap, hip hop. They throw away old rusty instruments. We create jazz music. We are the alchemists of humanity, and it speaks to our undeniable genius as Black Americans. And I also thought about what came out of the pandemic. Like y'all say, y'all created a game that brought people together. Also verses. People rediscover how great we were at this music making thing. People were able to get shine. People were able to even get paid some type of way. But that speaks to something that can't be taught in school. This is something that comes from the human spirit. This is something that comes from the soul. So
just gotta stay the course for yourself, man. You owe it to yourself. You gotta be a champion for yourself.
Most definitely. That's excellent. That's truly Black excellence. So I want to thank y'all on that as well. But what are some other challenges y'all had to endure in order to make a thriving business work in this day and age? Can y'all speak on that?
Well, one thing about it, like it goes back to what he was saying earlier about having that time when you're free. You always have time to think, problem solve. When I say think outside of the box, one thing I'm big on, which I think a lot of people make a mistake on personally, when they set up their business and try to run it like a big corporate entity, when there may be one or two people actually running the business that they're in. And so you can't solve problems the same way they solve problems, and you can't build the same way that they build. You have to really, really look at what you have and where you're trying to go and come up with real solutions, that's going to work for you within, your company, based on how many employees that you do have, or if it's a self-run business. You have to make it work where it's efficient for yourself, and a lot of times that's not going to be the same exact way maybe a FedEx or somebody would handle, their problems and things of that nature. So,
yeah. And then other challenges too, man, is it's like you don't have the resources that some companies have, man. I mean the financial resources, uh, just the supplies and all the stuff that comes along with running a legitimate profitable business, profitable business, you don't have access to. So you actually scratching and clawing to make it work without those finances or the credit or whatever it takes. So, basically what they call getting it out the mud. That's what we did. We actually used what we had to become successful. I mean, we ran into challenges even with MLG and W where uh, some type of way it was a pipe, it was a leak, a water leak. And man, it ended up being they ended up making us pay for it. It was like over $3,000 or something. And I'm like, man, who your small business? You know, the guy came out and looked at it and said, yeah, I understand that, but somebody got to pay it. And so they put it on us. And, you know, thank God they had a payment plan. But other than that, they put us in a situation where uh, either we're going to pay it or we're not going to have electricity. So you run into challenges like that, it ain't nobody that you can call. You don't have a cash cow or an investor or, you know, a bank or nobody that's backing you. But you gotta make this happen because this is your baby, this is your business, you know. So when you run into a situation like that, that's the stuff that discourages you and you like, man, what I supposed to do? But you gotta be, you know, resilient and actually be like, okay, we gotta solve this problem. You know, we had power outages and stuff, you know, leaks, you know, I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Power outages it makes you realize to go buy a generator.
Yeah, go buy a generator.
Next time when we have a power outage, I mean, we prepare, you know, and
yeah, so we can basically run without electricity if we want, you know what I'm saying? Because we actually invested. The problems caused us to find a solution. The solutions are still with us. So basically, every time we have an issue, we don't just run from it. We attack that problem and solve it so that we better prepare later on. And that's kind of made us a really, really strong company.
I mean, that's the stuff that I want people to hear from you all because to me, like they say, a winner is just a loser that tries one more time.
Yep.
And as long as you keep on trying, you can't fail at anything. And I know y'all didn't imagine y'all had to pay a $3,000 MLGW bill as y'all pursue this business thing. But that's the beautiful thing about life. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And had you known you would have to encounter that, you probably have never started this beautiful journey to begin with.
Exactly.
If you knew all the things that come along with it. But y'all, it's like y'all standing 10 toes or sitting 10 toes down, and that y'all still are not only just surviving, but also thriving. So also we got, your contact information and, how people could get in touch with you. Because one thing I really do appreciate is the quality that you put into the shirts, man. Like I said, I'm an artist or artivist, and it's always a pleasure, man, when I could think of something and I could manifest it and I could just text you the image and you can manifest the shirt in a quick turnaround time. And I just found that very impressive as well as with the quality. So I mean,
Thank you.
yeah. So this came out of this business you had, right? Was this the result of your college education or college experience?
Yeah, actually, I just say I stumbled upon this business. I've tried a lot of these different business endeavors up until now. Actually did a lot of clubs, car washes, and things like this. But this particular business right here, was actually something that I stumbled on while I was trying to get my master's degree in cybersecurity. The
Mm-hmm.
last assignment of that class was for me to write a 30-page paper on the new technology. Uh, this is like It's like any technology you can find on the internet. You just need you to write a 30-page paper on it. Because my master's degree was going to be in cybersecurity.
Right.
So as I'm like frustrated scrolling trying to find out what's the new technology, the first thing that popped up when I put new technology into Google was DTP printing. And I was like, what is that? And it actually was a video, and I clicked the video, and it showed this printer print out an image that was on the computer onto a shirt. And I was like, whoa, did I see that? Did I see that right? You know what I'm saying? So I that's all I needed to actually dive more into it because I got 30 pages. So hey, I need all the information anyway. And so it made my research really good because I was really interested in this printer. So
Mm-hmm.
30 pages, not only did I make an A+ on it assignment, but it
Yes.
was actually the ammunition that I needed to pull out my 401k that I had saved up over the 4 years of working
Mm.
to go and actually purchase the machine. And so that's how it came into play, man. It was just doing a assignment, man. It was assignment.
which is the difference from you doing a research paper to turn in to a professor. You're
Right,
doing research to possibly starting a business and leaving legacy for your family, and all. So you're gonna do the research anyway,
right.
and all. So
Well, I mean,
I
it's a
mean, it's a
beautiful
beautiful
thing.
thing.
God's in detail. That's incredible. So I mean, that's I think I know that we need to hear these type of stories because corporate America cannot employ everybody. I mean, we live in Memphis. FedEx cannot employ everybody. International Paper has some closings. Is International Paper still around? But I'm saying America needs small businesses to thrive in big ways. And like when you talked about the scare with the $3,000 cost of Memphis light gas and robbers or whatever, or water, excuse me, you need infrastructure that encourages small businesses to thrive and support so they can create opportunities for other people. And I want to talk about the current climate we find ourselves in. Do you believe the current political climate is conducive to you all being even more successful? Or what's your take on with the current, I guess, political climate or even economic climate? Because they both interchangeable.
Well, uh, this is my approach to business. Uh, I only want the clientele that wants to deal with me. So I'm looking for the people that already understand this is my livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come to me, we're not negotiating about what price it is. I'm not telling them, trying to prove to them that I'm the best and I'm not. I just want to provide the best service and quality product that I can give them. And if they believe that I'm the person that they want to do the job, then we're gonna have the best business relationship. So with that in mind, I don't have a lot of like straggler clientele. I call my clientele the shirt family. That's what I call shirt family because
Mm-hmm.
uh, I can focus on exactly what's in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm showing the person that's in front of me all the love that they need for their product, for their shirt, I'm not worried about them going anywhere because I did all I could do to make sure that they were satisfied and they can walk away and be proud of their product. And I feel like if I do that with everybody that's in front of me, I don't even have time to worry about the people that's not supporting me or not patronizing me because I'm too busy with so many people that's satisfied. And that's kind of the way that I look at this whole big world, the political stuff and the economics and all that stuff. I just focus on what's in front of me. That's what I can control. Everything else that's out of my control, it's just like me worrying about a hurricane in the Pacific Ocean or a tornado or something, or some type of natural disaster. I can only do what is in front of me. I can only control my surroundings, my environment. So I just make the best of it, man. Everything else, man, ain't nothing I can do about it. You know, it's probably a crazy approach, but it's been working for me all my life.
it's true, man. When you have, man, like turnover, like rate up, man, I'm saying like everybody that you deal with business wise, please. They know in that fourth quarter, as I call it, when the pressure is on and they need something done, they know where they can call and it's going to get done. You really are
Mm-hmm.
removing real worry, real anxiety out of their space because 9 times out of 10, even with their ideas, when they receive their art, it's like, whoo, I wasn't even expecting that. And they are blown away. So man, it's, as he said, it's kind of hard to worry about the other things, and we really are taking care of what we need to take care of, with us as well as, the clients, customers that do come our way.
And you kind of piggyback off of that, what we've done is we found out that we fine tuned this business where you're not gonna find us doing a whole bunch of different stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
we do t-shirts, sweatshirt. So whether it's a hoodie or a regular sweatshirt, it's a long sleeve or a short sleeve t-shirt. That's it. That way we can direct our energy on those products. So, if you calling me and you need a shirt and you need it today or tomorrow, I'm focused on that, and I'm not focused on doing the balloons or the cups or the other the hats and whatever else that comes along with this industry. We only focusing on shirts. You see what I'm saying? So that keeps our turnaround time really, really fast. And we built our company off of turnaround time, off of speed. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So the people that call us, they know we're not gonna take long. Once they get the money, we like a vending machine. You put the money in, we start moving. We trying to get it right back to you because we gotta be available for the next person that's gonna place an order. It's like a fast food game for a t-shirt. And
Mm-hmm.
that way we make it more efficient because everybody that comes to us know we're not all over the place. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, them guys really doing shirts. That's all they doing shirts. That's it. And it gives them a sense of relief of saying, okay, you know what? I got to find somebody else to do all this stuff, but I know who's going to handle these shirts for me, you know. And so that kind of helps us out too because, we're dependable, we big on quality and speed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have, man, basically had the wrong type of clientele one time early on. And they told me they liked it, and then when I say yeah, they like, nah, man, I thought it didn't look like I wanted to look, and I want. You said it's supposed to be this pink. Even after I sent them the image and they liked it, when they came and got to pick it up in person, they
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I thought it was man, you need that pink. So it was no problem to me because I'm like, you know what, this ain't my clientele. So I gave him his money back and let him keep the shirt. Well, 2 weeks later, hey man, you think you can nah, I'm gonna let you go ahead, y'all do what I'm saying? Because he wasn't my
Mm-hmm.
clientele, I'm at peace with what I do. I love what I do. So the people that actually, support me, they know I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go all out to make sure you satisfied. But when I start seeing the other stuff, I'm like, nah, this ain't his client. Nah, that ain't my clientele. All my people know I take pride in. So man, doing stuff like that, man, and just keep it peaceful. Everybody comes in around. They're in a good spirit. They love it. And that I think that really helps our business thrive because they can walk away from us and talk to somebody else about the great experience that they had.
I would definitely say like you spoke of fast food, comparing y'all business to like fast food. I say y'all like the Chick-fil-A of fast food of t-shirt making. Y'all the Chick-fil-A because you got quality and class and a top product that I'm excited always to get like a little kid on Christmas Day. That's how I feel about when I open up a package of mine with the t-shirt with the design of my artwork feature. It's
Right.
an honor to wear that, and people I get all types of compliments on the shirt. And the image is also the quality of the shirt. So I thoroughly enjoy the work that y'all do, and y'all figure something out that a lot of people don't understand. Customer service is king.
Yep.
I mean, when it comes to customer service, that's the key to retaining business. The fact that you was willing to even when the person wasn't satisfied, you say, "Okay, I'm gonna refund your money, and I'm gonna give you your keep the shirts."
Yep.
And to me, that says a lot about the confidence you have in your product,
Right. Right.
even when people may not agree. You know what I'm saying? But you said they ain't my clientele. But I'm most definitely part of your clientele. I appreciate being one of your clients. And y'all always come through for me. I really appreciate that as a customer.
I appreciate you, man. And another thing is, uh, you really understand the whole concept behind our business. So
Mm-hmm.
we was thinking when we started, like, man, we was trying to like give our culture a way to actually uh, afford nice looking things
Yeah.
that they can design. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't not be satisfied if you created the design.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But you can spend $200 or $300 on Gucci and Prada and still not all the way like it.
Right.
But I can give you something for more than half the price and what they charge is something that came up in your brain that you know you like, and you can match it up the way that you want to, then you're gonna be satisfied because it's your idea.
Right.
You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So we kind of wanted to pull people away from throwing away money. You know, if that's the right word for it. But if this shirt costs $300 and it just got a G on it or whatever the case is, then you can put your own initial on it for way cheaper than $300, and it'll
Right.
look the same way. You can wear it with the same Nikes or the same jeans, and you'll still have $250 left or whatever after you purchase the shirt or the hoodie. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So it's
sir.
our way of saying, hey man, don't bank on people that you don't know to create your style. Your style is what's in your mind, what's in your brain, what feels good to you. We're gonna
Right.
bring that image to life for you. So you get to walk around and say, "Oh, you wearing Gucci? I'm wearing me."
That's
That's
right.
a different feel. You see what I'm saying? You know. So that was our concept, and now it's starting to catch on. You caught on to it immediately because you're already an artist anyway. So you
Yes.
know, you like, ain't nobody gonna have this on but me because I draw
Right.
it.
I definitely agree with that, and it's good to see like black entrepreneurship still alive in 2025 because, I'm looking at what's going on in the news and politics. The only color that matters in business is the color green.
That
That's the
part.
only color. I mean, yeah, to have your business in the black because people always think black is negative, but to be in the black in business is to be a success. So black and green are the only colors that matter when it comes to good business. So my thing is like people talking about the cuts in diversity, equality, whatever, DEI, affirmative action. But my thing is y'all taking affirmative action in terms of investing and believing in yourselves and creating a thriving business infrastructure based on a thriving business philosophy. And so I think y'all are well equipped to win this thing and to be a contender for a long time in terms of quality product and service. So I commend you all for taking a chance on yourselves, on betting on black in order to get this thing done. This is very inspiring. And the reason I'm glad I can do this show with you all is to let other people know about what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? And like to let people know that these things can be manifested. If you got the dream, if you got the will, you could get the skill to make it real. So I mean, it's very important what y'all doing because y'all hustling the right way. And this is like Memphis is an amazing city. We hard on our people, but man, they know if you can make it in Memphis, you can make it anywhere.
Right. Exactly.
You could thrive anywhere.
It's a process, man. That you, like I said earlier, you have to stay the course. A lot of times, man, it's gonna be lonely, and
Hmm.
all. I mean, you're gonna feel uh, misunderstood, but you have to stay on course for what your own personal beliefs are, and desire to get to where you want to go. Because, man, the influences, it's like you walk in a bubble of influences all around you every day, and they're not good influences,
Right.
Now, I always use the example too, and it's probably not the best example to use, but this kind of what prompted the ShirtMane book idea or whatever. Uh, Before drugs hit, you had to really like show your skill set to feed
Hmm.
your family, right? So you had your master mechanics, you had your plumbers, you had your electricians, you had your farmers, you had all these people that created these villages that you had to go to and spend money with because y'all were a community.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you need your brakes done. Okay, I know somebody do the brakes. Well, you need a house paint. Okay, I know somebody. So it was always that community thing going on. So I look at this, man. It's like, okay, if you smart enough to mix some elements or some chemicals together, to cook it on a stove, to weigh it
Hmm.
with scale, you got to put the right proportion. You got to use the right heat and all this stuff. You got to chop it up. Then you got to weigh it and package it all up. You basically manufacturing and distributing, which is what a corporate company does every day. But you do
Mm-hmm.
it with drugs. You understand what I'm saying? So the drug dealer really ain't the dumbest. They probably the smartest because you using a scale, you being a chemist, you doing distribution, manufacturing, producing, you doing all these things, but it's illegal. So instead of falling into the trap of doing this illegal thing, you can take the same mindset and sell anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what prompted me to say, man, if I was smart enough to sell some stuff that I created or they created from scratch, then why not get a legitimate product and use the same marketing and promotion strategy with the legitimate product and watch what it do? Because it's
Right.
all business, period. I can sell hot dogs the same way I sell t-shirts because I'm just gonna focus on hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna find people that like hot dogs. Period. I don't want to talk to nobody about no burgers, no ribs. Do you like hot dogs? You see what I'm saying? So that's the same. That's the concept of business. And I know that when the drugs hit, it made it look like it was so fast and so easy and so quick. But it was a trap because they knew that if they gave us that, it was so attractive, but they didn't tell you how much time that you get for it until you stand up in front of the judge and you realize, wow, I got to go sit down for 10, 15 years. Man, I could have been selling popsicles and made the same amount of money. But they just put that like it's the big money maker. Man, you got people that sell shoestrings and make $1 million. You know, so I'm doing it from this perspective because I want it to be something so simple that people could relate to versus trying to make it, so complicated. I want the kids to be able to see these shirts and be like, man, I can sell these shirts. I can draw a cartoon. I did the trial run with my own son. I had him draw something when he was like 8 or 9 years old and print on the shirt. He took it to school and a couple of his partners, they wanted the shirt. So I had him, he made like $5 off these shirts. That was entrepreneurship. And he was between 9 or 10 years old doing it. So that was proof to me that we can do whatever we want to do. It's just what do we have access to? You see what I'm saying? So if somebody was walking around promoting t-shirts like they was promoting drugs to me when I was growing up, and they said, okay, you can make the same amount of money selling drugs, and you can make the same amount of money selling t-shirts as you do selling drugs, but you don't have to go to jail to sell a t-shirt. I would never touch drugs. It's a no-brainer. You see what I'm saying? But those options aren't, they're not presented to you early enough. So if they present these options in school before you turn 16, I mean, he's got to start at 8, 9 years old. Hey kids, this is what you can do to make some money. This could be a hobby. Because they can't work until they're 16. So you think kids at 8, 9 years old don't want their own money? So people in the streets, they know these kids want their money. So hey, you want some money? Take this book bag around the corner. I'm gonna give you $20. If somebody could have told these kids, hey man, you can set up your a Kool-Aid stand and sell freeze cups and make the same amount of money, you ain't got to get in trouble. So it's all that what's available to us. It's what's presented, you know. And then, like you say, with the music, it's the same thing. It's just like a jingle. The music is a jingle for doing bad. So we the ones that gotta switch the narrative. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put more pressure on the dude, give them something to look forward to that's legit versus what the entertainment business is giving them to do that's, not the right thing to do, that's bad. That's from a parent and a guardian perspective, you know. So that's kind of my take on that, man. We can influence the kids just as well as the rap in the movies if we got something to show them. But you can't be a guy that ain't doing nothing all your life and trying to tell one of these young cats that's rolling what to do. You gotta be on point too as a grown man. You gotta have something to show because they want to see it.
I'm glad you said that. It's about action. But go ahead. You want to? Y'all want? Anybody want to say anything else? Yeah, but like what you were saying, but it's like what they promote though. Like I was going back to the Snoop Dogg story about him wanting to be like Scarface because he saw it in a movie, and then what they was pushing. If you think about the quality of the music, how it went down from being about love and about powerful, positive relationships to being low vibrational. I remember reading about an interview that NBA Youngboy did, very talented hip hop artist. How he talked about his music was used to incite violence in young people. He realized that he was making music to incite violence in young people. He realized that, but he didn't stop making it because that what made him his money.
Right.
And you think about the rappers of today. If they were around 60 years ago, they would have been like Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, Malcolm X. A lot of the gifted speakers from that era would have been instead of revolutionaries, they would have been rappers today, and the rappers would have been revolutionaries of yesteryear. And my thing is that we got to get back to the basics of understanding and overstanding. Like they say, you are what you eat, right? So that means we are what we consume, whether it be the music, whether it be the movies, whether it be a whole bunch of things. And people, they don't watch what you say, they watch what you do. That's a good thing to know. Like, young people are always paying attention to not what you say, but what you do.
Exactly.
So, like, the fact that y'all doing some very positive things, we got to amplify that for the young people, let them know that that's an option outside of going to jail or going to an early grave. So I commend you, gentlemen, on that for being that example for our people, for our young people, for our young boys.
Right. Appreciate it, man. You doing an awesome job of just having a platform to even have these conversations because you never know who is going to spark. A lot of times people have the idea, but they don't have a platform to say it
Right.
on. And it just it goes back to the basics where it's like even when I was doing the music, certain people in position that could have promoted or put this stuff on the radio or whatever, and they were the gatekeepers. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
chose not to engage in certain artists because that's not pop thing. That's not So it influenced the talent to go in the direction of the negative vibes because the negative vibes is what's going to be on the radio. So you're dealing with all these kind of situations, being entertained it kind of force you not to be too positive. You look at all the conscious rappers and stuff that we've had, and then you look at all of the real rappers and the drug dealer rappers. Then you gotta say, okay, who in it? Who got the money? And that's what you gotta actually say, man. Okay, if this is my livelihood, and I'm losing to a dude who's talking about popping Molly and drinking liquor and going to the shake joint, and I'm just trying to talk to y'all about eating right and loving your people, but his sales way up here, and I'm almost broke trying to tell you. So the influence kick in. Okay, well let me just say I like to see a girl twerk. Okay,
Mhm.
you see what I'm saying? So it shifts
Mhm.
your whole, perception on what is good talent because of the gatekeepers. They not pushing the we are the world and you know part of self destruction. They pushing destruction.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying? Because their management is telling them, look, the rate's going down. You need to play this. You know, so you being in a position with a platform like that, it'll change the perspective of things too, because you never know if your platform happen to be servicing 20, 30,000 people an hour, whatever, and you play a positive song that always come on when your show comes on. That may touch somebody that says, you know what, I can keep on doing this positive music. But if you're not hearing anything positive on the radio anymore, then you got to start thinking, okay, how can I adjust to this situation? Even though I want to talk about something positive, talking about love and all that, it's not gonna get in the airplay. What I supposed to do? And this is how I eat. You know.
Well, the thing about it is, what I'm thinking about, because I've been on a hiatus, to be honest with you, because they've been doing their best to run me off these social media streets, and I look at what's going on in social media now. I'm proud of the people who got platforms that are flourishing, but I had a pioneer role because I was like actually the first person to interview Dick Gregory on a consistent basis. And now, it's like an echo chamber online of Dick Gregory stuff. But I started that trend as well as interviewing Judge Joe Brown on a consistent basis when he lost his TV show. I started interviewing him that same year when he was running for DA. And my thing is sometimes, like Dick Gregory would tell me, when God uses you for a higher calling, the universe don't always leave fingerprints that you existed. And sometimes, like, it gets hard. It's a hard grind. But this year, I am determined to raise my voice because I understand the power of this year being the year 9. 2025 adds up to the number 9. And 9 is the number of completion, of endings and beginnings. That's the power of 9. And to me, I look at this year as recommitting to being a black man about his business, because this is the centennial birth years of Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and Robert F. Williams. And 60 plus years ago, these men stood on business. And a lot of times our people did not appreciate it, how these men, not just males, but men stood on business. These patriarchs of their families, these strong black men who did not bite their tongue, who actions actually spoke louder than their words, and who really gave a damn about their people, who was willing to put their lives on the line for principle. We need to get back to the basics of that as men. And young men and young boys need to see black men working together on things that empower all of us. Because I really think it's a blessing in disguise that Trump is rolling back the DEI and affirmative action things. 'Cause I don't see any real black men standing on business in mainstream media. I don't see any real black men leading strong organizations that put black business first, black America's business first. I don't see that in the halls of Congress. I don't see that locally. I don't see that in the city hall. It's time for us to recommit to that, because also this is the 30th anniversary year of the Million Man March. This is the 20th anniversary year of the Katrina fiasco. We still got black folks missing from Katrina and nobody talking about it.
Yep.
That's been almost 20 years ago this coming August. This is the 70th anniversary year of the Emmett Till lynching. This is the 70th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott, where black folks worked for 380 something plus days to bring down a white racist power structure in Montgomery, Alabama, just by refusing to ride the bus. We did it for over 300 days as black people. We hurt them so bad that the white folks came to Dr. King and wanted to sell the bus line. But Dr. King, God bless him, he was not a businessman. He had no business making a decision like that because he wasn't a businessman. He was a moral leader. But here's the thing. The last speech he did was in Memphis, Tennessee at Mason Temple. And he talked about boycott the places they'll take your green dollars but won't give you black jobs. He said boycott Wonder Bread, boycott Coca-Cola, boycott all these businesses, invest in black insurance companies, invest in black banks. So he was about black empowerment at the end. But before he could turn that corner, they shot him in his face. And now they want you to believe that Dr. King was a man about nonviolence, when, like, Bobby Seale, one of the co-founders of the Black Panther Party, he went down to Dr. King's home going in Atlanta. He said Dr. King never told black people not to defend themselves. He said, I talked to people that knew. He said he never was about not defending yourself. Dr. King always had armed black men around him. See, that's what they don't tell y'all. When he got stabbed up in Harlem, New York, doing a book signing, a black woman, a deranged black woman from Alabama, stabbed him in his chest, almost stabbed him in his heart. And like he talked about in his last speech, had he sneezed, he would have bled to death. But Dr. King kept armed black men around him. When he completed the march against fear, when James Meredith was shot on the Mississippi Highway, Dr. King completed that march with his people, but he had black men from Louisiana, the Deacons for Defense, at his side. I talked about Mega Evers, centennial birth year, July. I think we recognize that July the 2nd. So he was born July 2nd, 1925. I used to be friends with his big brother, Charles Evers, who almost made it to 100 years old. He died in 2020 at the age of 97. When I used to go down to Jackson, Mississippi, I used to just make unscheduled visits at the radio station he ran down there for years. And I remember he told me a story. He said, Ron, when Dr. King used to come to Jackson, he used to stay with me. He will not walk but run to my house. He said, Charles, I feel so comfortable because you have all the guns and goons. And then Brother Charles pulled out his revolver out his desk. He said, Ron, I believe in the 3 Gs: God, guns, and goons. So this is why he lived to be almost 100 years old, because he was nobody's fool. And we got to realize, like Malcolm said, if they put their hands on you, you send them to the cemetery. So self-defense was all about it. It wasn't about being terrorists or being hateful towards anybody. It's about loving yourself enough to protect yourself and to protect your people. We don't have people like that riding for us right now.
Yeah.
We don't have real leadership that speaks truth to empowerment. I don't see no black leader. There's no black leaders. And the thing about it is we can't all hide behind the sisters no more. You know what I'm saying? Men got to stand up and be accounted for. God got the black man. This is the year of the black man. This country never did anything without black men being involved. Whether it be 5,000 strong with George Washington, whether it be almost 200,000 strong during the U.S. Civil War. The U.S. Civil War was won because black men enlisted. The North were getting their ass kicked by the South. It wasn't until black men said, we're going to fight for ourselves, ride or die. That's when the whole thing turned around. Not only did that situation gave black men the right to vote, but by our men fighting the way they did, they allowed women to get their chance to vote. Black men always stood in the gap. This country has never done right by black men. Until this country do right by black men, this country would not be all that it can really be in terms of greatness. So my thing is, this is the year to reclaim black men. It's time for stand 10 toes down. It is time to take our rightful place at the table as the head. I said it because I don't see name me one black organization that got strong. And don't take Farrakhan, he almost 100 years old. No disrespect to the minister. Come on now. Where's the young black men standing up for stuff? And I stop. I rest my rants. But I want to ask you all, where is the black male leadership, the black man leadership in our society?
It's gotta, and you said a mouthful because it's so limited and scarce till they just pick the entertainers to be leaders.
They court justice, man. They joke. No disrespect to
them. Like you can't invite entertainers because it's like they didn't sign up to be no leaders. But when they the most popular, the people feel like, okay, well, you know what, he can play good. Maybe he can tell us what to do. And that's a lot of pressure on somebody that didn't sign up to be a leader. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I mean, it boils back down to stripping all these titles off and stripping all the material things off and going all the way back down to strictly who can handle the business, who can actually lead by example and really, man, with integrity and pride and step up to the plate and handle responsibilities and be accountable. That's what a leader is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I keep giving my props because he ain't asked to be a leader, but he's a leader.
Right.
He's proven this is what a leader should do. That's different from somebody saying, hey, I'm in charge, I'm the leader. But if the tie get on flat, you can't even change the tie. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we taking these layers off now.
Yeah, each individual, man, have to really handle his own. Each man is going back to what you were saying. Like, with Dr. King and the bus boycott. It's like, and I know that during that time he was standing up for morale, more so for what was going on. But from the effects of the actual boycott, and I tell one of my friends this all the time, the people did everything they could or needed to do to not get on the bus, which they car hopped with individuals who had cars.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're stuck in one frame of mindset with morale, but if you think about what they really was doing, is what Uber is of today.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, but if you can't get caught up, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier on how you see and problem solve. You can't problem solve with the way a larger scale people do problem solve and all, because if your mind is like open and free, you see that in the middle of that fight, and all. Like, I'm arguing for morale, but we still do live in a capitalist society. So
Mm-hmm.
we shut down this bus system and all. And actually, everybody who got cars now, this is something that can be something else. Like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
still making it around. This may be opportunity here, and you talk about how history could have been deflected from something as simple as that, where you go in a war fighting unjust transportation system to coming
Mm-hmm.
out of the war where you flip it and now you really are the head voice in which is something new, which really is similar to Uber today, and
Sure.
so something like that deflects. I mean, it sends history to a whole nother, you know, way, in America anyway, So yeah.
Well, and another thing about the bus boycott, see, we don't study stuff. We let people tell us what our history are. You got people still around that participated in anything. Uh, we had a professor, I think she was the first black professor at University of Memphis, Dr. Marion DeCosta Willis. I mean, she could pass for white, but she was a participant in the Montgomery bus boycott. She was a friend of our organization. And the thing about that bus boycott, you had black men stepping up being men. The reason why I said that, because during that time period, the white police officers and the white bus drivers were notorious for taking advantage of black women. They were notorious for taking advantage of black women. And when them brothers who were veterans from World War II and the Korean War said, we're going to escort the sisters, we're going to protect the sisters, all that foolishness stopped real quick. There's a couple of things they don't talk about. The fact that black media was involved in the organization or the organizing of the bus boycott. I remember reading something about Dr. King doing a speech at a DJ convention in Atlanta, I think a black DJ convention. He talked about how the radio was used to send coded messages to the organizers of the boycott, how they used the radio, how our ancestors used the songs, Wade in the Water, all that stuff to send coded messages. He talked about the power of that. I remember going to a freedom symposium, a freedom awards symposium hosted by the Civil Rights Museum, where they honor Magic Johnson and Dr. John Hope Franklin and the woman president of Liberia. And Magic Johnson, he said something that was very profound. This was for the kids of the school system to engage with these amazing, extraordinary legends. Magic Johnson said something that probably flew over a lot of people's heads. He said, "Today we got more black millionaires than we had in 1960, but in 1960 we had more black businesses." You see, people don't talk about the impact of black businesses helping to finance the movement. The people that came to Dr. King about buying the bus company, were S.B. Fuller, who was from Louisiana, but he spent some time in Memphis. Memphis is a very powerful place. He was the wealthiest black person in America at the time. Look up S.B. Fuller. Then you had A.G. Gaston, who was the wealthiest black person in Alabama. He was in construction, funeral home. He owned hotels and whatnot. He would make sure that Dr. King and them had a place to stay. He would sometimes put up the bail money for Dr. King and them while they was in Alabama doing Project C, Birmingham, and other things.
They the ones. These are black businessmen of the highest order. Kind of like, you think about what Trump dealing with the Zuckerbergs and the Elons. This were our people that had the money. They said Dr. King they want to sell the bus company. And Dr. King said no. He really had no business making that decision, but he realized his mistake years later. You remember when he said we integrated into a burning house. So we
Yeah.
must be like firemen and help to put the fire out. We shouldn't have been in the burning house because quite frankly, we had it better in a lot of ways before we start talking about integration.
Right.
Some of the biggest achievements of the civil rights movement was not when black and whites worked together. It was when the black man, woman, and child was on the same page. Study Montgomery, Alabama, the bus boycott. Study Project C, Birmingham, when black children start going to prison for freedom. But when we work together as a community, that is when things start to shift. And when black men start standing up as men, that's when things start to turn in our favor. So this has been an attack on the black family, but on family in general. But it started with the black family. I can speak on this. 60 years ago, both of my parents were married. Both sets of their parents. Both sets of my grandparents were married with a lot of kids. And they always depend on one income of the man. Like if you go back in Memphis 60 years ago, a black man or a black boy or young man or teenager could drop out of Manassas High School and go across the street to work at Firestone for 40 years, take care of a family of four. His woman can always just stay in the home, run the home, send all his kids to college, retire with a good pension. Them days are gone. So you want to tell me those were so terrible days because you couldn't sit in a white restaurant and eat a hamburger with white people?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have what they had. Well, I could
Right.
buy me a Cadillac and stuff and take care of my woman
That's right.
and my kids. And now I meet women today, some black women, they tell me, Run, I don't want to be a feminist no more. I need a man. Well, man, you've been giving away the milk all this time. We don't want, you kind of an old cow. But what I'm saying is, black men, we got to take our rightful place. If you want a woman to submit, you got to do the right thing. Because when you're doing the right thing, you don't have to ask her to submit; she'll submit.
Right.
That's how they go. I'm gonna shut up now. I'm getting in trouble. But y'all got any last thoughts or words y'all want to share on this podcast? Thank you, brothers, for your time. I appreciate it.
Hey man, thank you for having us on. We really appreciate you, man.
Likewise, we're gonna do some more stuff. I appreciate y'all. So I got y'all contact information down here. I know. I hope it's right. I think it's right.
Yep, everything looks good. Yep.
And I want people, encourage people to buy your book, ShirtMane. We got to support our own. We got to tell our stories from our point of view. I ain't gonna never forget. Several years ago, I closed it with this. My uncle passed. My great uncle passed. Uncle Frenchie out of Charleston, South Carolina. He owned the oldest black-owned newspaper in the whole state called the Charleston Chronicle. Unfortunately, the paper died with him that year. It would have been 50 years old. He founded it back in 71. He died months short of his 95th birthday. And I remember I interviewed Bill Cosby's publicist the day after he died. And then Dr. Bill Cosby called me the day after my Uncle Frenchie died. And I told him about my Uncle Frenchie. He was like well respected in Charleston. They got a street name for him. And I was able to meet him on his 87th birthday in his newspaper office. He said, before the family started selling everything, before they put the house for sale, save the papers, save the archives. That's gold in them archives. Those are stories. Because if we don't save those stories, Hollywood will get close to them and take them, and they won't be our stories no more.
Yep.
And I told them that at the funeral. And then the next thing I know, I asked my cousin, one of his daughters, I said, so I heard y'all sold the building. What happened to the archives? Basically, they threw him away. His life work, his legacy, being a community advocate. He was one of the first black photojournalists in the Vietnam War. This man had an extraordinary life. And they just let all that treasure, as Dr. Cosby told me, just go away in the garbage. So we got to start treating what we do as treasure, like what y'all doing. Y'all building not only for yourselves a livelihood, but a legacy.
That's the plan, man. That's the whole.
Now y'all doing it.
Yep.
Yep, that's it, man.
So thank y'all, brother, so much. In the words of great Duke Ellington, We love you madly. In the words of Brother Ron, keep on producing and pushing, and we'll see you again in the very near future. Like in the words of Brother Marcus Garvey, look for me in the whirlwind, brothers.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate you,
All
brother.
right. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
And that does it for this edition of We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I'm your host with the hostess with the mostest, Brother Ron. Shout out to Brother John Odum and his good brother, Brother AP, his partner in good business. We want to support people that do good business, especially that put black people first in quality and expectations. So I applaud these brothers for what they're doing, and this is why I'm back to talk about the good stuff. You know, they spend a lot of time talking about bad stuff. Let's promote the good stuff because it's very important. Like I said, I'm a very happy customer. Been going to this brother for almost 3 years now, getting quality product with my quality art on it. Like I said, I feel like a kid every time I get access to these shirts with my images on it. And it's good to support another brother. And I made it my mission in 2025 to support a black man, a black boy, a black man every day. It don't have to be family or kin. It could be strangers. No, I don't need them to be a friend, but I want to be used by the Most High as a conduit to promote and support black men and black boys this year because, like I said, this is the centennial year of the birth of Medgar Evers and Malcolm X and Robert F. Williams, and we're going to do shows about these men this year. We're going to celebrate this year because black media has failed in their duty to inform the masses. It's all about sensationalism, BS, clickbait. Today, that's going to change. That is changing right now because Brother Ron is back. Guess who is back? Is Brother Ron. I'm back and I'm still black. And let's get on this attack because we all be in it to win it. So if you like the words from Brother Heard, please spread the word. You know, this is the new home now. We are coming from We All Be TV too. And also you can catch us on rumble.com/ We All Be TV. They've been trying to censor me for so long. A lot of my work has been censored and removed from YouTube or removed out of my videos, historic videos with Baba Dick Gregory, Judge Joe Brown, quality investigative work. I'm trying to rebuild the archives where they can be accessible to the people. So how can you can support Brother Ron in that endeavor? Well, I'll tell you how you can support Brother Ron. You can send a donation. Attention, Brother Ronald Hurd II, the We All Be Group Incorporated, P.O. Box 7520062, Memphis, Tennessee 38175. Once again, that's attention, Ronald Hurd, like in cattle. The second, the We All Be Group Incorporated, P.O. Box 7520062, Memphis, Tennessee 38175. We are a nonprofit, the We All Be Group Incorporated. You can make out your money order, whatnot to that. It's nonprofit, so it's tax deductible. Also, like I said, subscribe to youtube.com/ We All Be TV too. That's our new home on YouTube. And I'm going to shut down We All Be TV. Well, I'm going to move the archives over to We All Be TV too, as well as to rumble.com/ We All Be TV. So thank y'all on that. And see what else. So much to cover. And what other ways you support Brother Ron? Well, here's the other ways. It's a lot of ways you support Brother Ron, but there's like some other ways, Michelle. You can cash out your support $R2C2H2. That's $R2C2H2 for cash out. You could PayPal your support. PayPal, I guess PayPal and Zelle your support at the email address r2c2h2@gmail.com. That's r2c2h2@gmail.com. If you want the Zelle and PayPal your support, you can Vimo your support at r2c2h2. That's Vimo at r2c2h2. You can, let me see, make sure. I got a lot of different things. I'm just pacing myself. You can Apple Cash 901-299-4355. That's Apple Cash 901-299-4355. And also, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/we all be. That's patreon.com/we all be. Patreon.com/we all be. So I guess I have did the people's business for tonight. Got a lot of interesting shows lined up tonight. There's so much to talk about. And I want to thank all the people who have been encouraging me to come back on the air, to let it rip. And I'm going to keep on doing that because we the people, I'm the feeder. I'm going to feed you, feed you, feed you. Did y'all miss me? Well, have no fear. Have no fear. Brother Ron is here. All right. Y'all take care. God bless. In the words of Duke Ellington, we love you madly. Y'all keep on producing and pushing. One love. Got a lot to talk about. Don't be surprised. I do another show very, very soon. We all be in it to win it. So stay tuned or out of tune to get in tune with what to do. Do run, run, run. You do run, run. Love y'all.